What's up, guys? My name is Sarah Fontenot, and I am so excited to share with you how I have been able to really maximize on my Instagram. I'm still growing and excited about all the growth that's still yet to come, but I was able to grow my Instagram from having 12,000 followers to now over 44,000 followers and being able to monetize on that. So, pretty exciting. Let's jump right into it, into the social media webinar. Why do you want to use social media? It is going to expand your reach, meaning you are able to touch far more people with social media than if you're just local. People all over the world probably don't know you, but you have an opportunity to be known all over the world because of social media. So by doing that, it's increasing your visibility. More people can see what's up. They can choose to follow you. They can be a part of your journey. And as they're a part of your journey, what it does is it creates validity around your brand. Honestly, nowadays, people are literally like, let me grab your phone number. Oh, by the way, what's your Instagram? It's actually kind of silly how much people be like, oh, when they get to your page, if there's only 102 followers, right? And we all start somewhere. We all start at zero. So no problem if that's where you are. They have this like, oh, are they really doing business? Are they really? So you can really create validity around your brand. Not to say that your brand is not valid without a social media presence. You can just create an even larger presence, period. So it does that, which also helps you to create global business. Like I said, if you have people that are following you and your business and your journey from South Africa, the UK, Canada, Mexico, the States, you are able to build with social media. And by doing that, you're creating online funnels. I mean, there's the swipe up options. You can create your website. You can literally push the shop now. People can purchase your stuff directly from your site when you connect your store. So the online funnels also help with really simple opt-ins, and you build your community. This is the most important part. Relationships will absolutely change the game. People want to be a part of something. And what better than to be a part of a tribe that you belong in? Your vibe attracts your tribe. So, why do you want to use Instagram specifically? Because there are a lot of different social media outlets out there. And this is just the one that I am most present on. And so, I love it because over 1 billion people use Instagram. 39% are women, 30% are men, and the other percentage have non-disclosed. So what's really cool is when you look at it, 59% of US users are under 30. So, and we'll get a little bit into identifying your product or service, but what are you providing? But literally 18 to 29 years old are 59% of the users on Instagram. Now, 33% of Instagram users between 30 and 49 years old. That is massive. We're talking 33% of almost a billion, right? I'm not saying obviously everyone in the States has Instagram or that it's the full billion people, but that is a massive number of people that are just out there looking for journeys to join, tribes to be a part of, because your vibe attracts your tribe. Now, another really cool thing is 70% of US users have a post-secondary education. I'm just saying, pretty cool. So they're knowledgeable. They're looking for the next step. Maybe they're looking for the job that you're offering, or maybe they're looking for the service in order to take them to the next level in their career. A lot of client and coaching and one-on-ones, all types of really cool things. 95% of US Instagrammers use YouTube. Just saying, huge deal. Can't tell you how many makeup tutorials I've personally watched in my past. I don't even do makeup, but I like to do it on myself. How to get ready in 15 minutes. That's my thing. There's workouts. There are how to walk your dog. There's whatever your niche is. You literally can click the link in the bio and get taken to a completely different area. I will say, however, one really cool thing that you can do is go to linktree.com or link.tree Link.tree, because Instagram only allows you to have one link in your bio. But if you get the link tree on the website, you can't do it with an app. But if you go to the website, I believe it's $6.99 a month. And with that app, you can have multiple apps or multiple links so that people can go to your YouTube, they can go to your personal page, they can go to your online store, and just different things, because sometimes you need more than one link. So there's a resource. Now, all of that to say, this is huge, okay? Like, yes, we see 34% of Instagram users are millennials. People are checking their phone once a day, multiple times a day. But get this, 72% of users have bought a product they saw on Instagram. I personally think that the app pays to listen to what you have going on in your life, probably illegal, no problem, because every time I'm talking about something, it shows up as a sponsored ad on my phone. And when you see things a certain amount of times, eventually it's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm definitely going to order that. And then you do. 72% of 1 billion. That is a lot of consumerism. That is a lot of people that are looking for your specific product. Now, with having a specific product, you want to make sure that you have a specific target market. Like, who are you talking to? How old are they? What do they do for fun? Why would they choose your product over anyone else's? Now, this is not to say that you have to reinvent the wheel. This is not to say that you have to have some one of a kind business out there, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of t-shirt stores that are all successful. There's a lot of shoe brands that are all successful. There's a lot of food brands that are all successful, cooking the same thing, making it look a little bit different. So what is your spin on your product? And we're going to get to that in a second. But most importantly, who are you selling to? Knowing your target market is so incredibly important, because talking to a 35-year-old woman and a 15-year-old boy, they both want very different things at that point in time in their lives. So if you're talking to both of them, you'll probably end up missing them. Right? So if you get really specific on who you're talking to, I would rather have a really small group of a concentrated tribe that is really serious and passionate about the same things that I'm here to offer and the same things that I'm doing, than a bunch of random people that just ghost follow. Like, they don't even like anything. They don't really care about what's going on. So how can you be specific to really create your tribe? Target market is like your tribe. Who is in your tribe? Which brings us to the product and service. Now, I talked a little bit about this just now, but what I will say about identifying your product or service, there's some really simple questions that you could ask yourself. I know for me, it took me a long time to figure out what was it that I was offering to people. I couldn't figure it out. I already had my career, and I knew that I wanted to add something that was like my baby, something along those lines, but I had no idea what it looked like. And I kept asking myself these questions like, why does my business exist? Is there a problem that I can solve? What would I buy that I would buy for myself? So if I were to have a product or service, like, what is it that I'm looking for? Why do you want to do what you do? Or I'm asking me, right? What inspires me? What am I an expert at? What are my 10 most frequently asked questions? And when I started really honing in on those things, and I'd write it down and write it down and write it down, literally it was just chipping away and chipping away and chipping away at actually getting the answer. But identifying your product or service can feel really long, can feel really far, but just keep working at it. And eventually you'll find the thing that works for you. You'll be able to speak to your target market and build whatever business it is that you're most excited about. Now, the next thing, we want to identify your platform. Now, there is no wrong choice, honestly, and you're not limited to one. There's Instagram, Facebook, Pinterest, Snapchat, Twitter, LinkedIn. There are so many different platforms, Squarespace. I mean, there's so many different platforms that you can use to grow your business, to grow your influence, your following, all of that. But you don't have to just choose one. You can do as many as you would like to do. So once you've identified your platform, I always love to say, get golden, okay? Like the golden rule, right? So the golden rule for me is when you have the people, whoever those people may be, your tribe, right? And there's a product that you've supplied for the people, this is obviously where you get clients. When you have a product and a platform like Instagram, you have a way of reaching more people, you have a way of getting more people your product, you make an impact. Now, when you have a platform, a way to reach more people, and the actual people are following you on the platform, you have community. Now, when you have community, impact, and clients, this is where you are golden. It's honestly not enough just to have an audience or just to have a product or just to have a platform. You honestly need all three in order to really be successful and smash your business out of the park. And it doesn't just have to be on social media, but for the sake of what we're talking about, definitely on social media. It just helps to, again, expand your reach, increase visibility, and all of those really cool things. So we want to focus on getting right here, right? So how do you do that with Instagram? How do you get golden with Instagram? So step one is growth, right? It's almost impossible, like almost impossible to create influence or have a presence or have authority on a platform where no one knows who you are, right? So the first thing that you need to do is to grow your followers. I don't like that word. I really like leaders, but you want to grow your following. Now, in growing your following, what you're going to do is you're going to start creating those things. You're going to start creating that influence, creating that presence, creating that authority when you're really showing up as the expert in your niche. And how you do that is just by being you. One of my favorite quotes, be you, everyone else is taken. Look, I'm telling you, no one wants to be sold. So take the pressure off of yourself by being yourself. Like, how are you using your product or service day in and day out? It's really easy to snap it on your story. It's really easy to post pictures. It's really easy, well, not necessarily easy, but to create that content. And we're going to get into that stuff. So don't be the person that just posts their product, unless that is your brand. Like, if that makes sense. So for me, I am a part of my brand. So you see me on my page a lot, repping my brand, a part of my brand. It's a part of me, which is different from, let's say that you have a store, right? And your store is the brand where you sell shoes, right? So if you sell shoes in your store and the whole thing is about the shoe store and not you have no part of the brand, you're just building up the shoe store, then the shoe store is what you want to show. You want to show people in the shoe store. You want to show people having fun in the shoe store, people trying on shoes, the old shoe and the new shoe on their feet. I mean, there's so many different ways that you can really show off whatever your brand actually is. So don't be the person that's just showing off like, I want to sell, I want to sell, I want to sell. Add value, add value, add value, add value. It's actually a fact that there's a much higher percentage of people that will see your post when there is a face found in the photo. So it's all up to you to really let people know who you are. If you're not a part of your brand, it's up to you to let people know what your brand is, who your brand is. When they know that, they can trust you. When they know who that brand is and they feel a part of it, they can trust you. When they trust you, they'll buy from you. And when you make sure that there's an amazing experience tacked on to whatever your clients or customers are getting, it will be the beginning of building that super solid community, of building those relationships, and really creating the tribe that you want to be a part of and they want to be a part of. So this day and age, for me, is a lot more about pulling sales than pushing sales. I heard this from an incredible woman named Ronnie Brown, and I really just agree. It's less about the push it on you and more about the I'm going to attract you into what I have going on in my life, in my business, with my brand. So when you are posting on your timeline, like your timeline photos, for me, I feel like this is your storefront. Okay. So what does your store say about you? Is it attractive? Is it clean? Is it cohesive? Are you posting with intention? Would people want to go back? What does it say about your brand, right? So every time I say you, just know you could swap that out any second with brand. If you are not the brand, then I'm talking about the brand. But is there an umbrella theme? So for me, the theme of my page all falls under lifestyle. So I always ask myself, does this post fall into the line of my 5 categories of my lifestyle? I want inspiration, a healthy, fit life, empowerment, travel, and freedom with calls to action sprinkled in, right? Like, this has completely changed my life. Or if you're looking for XYZ, just little things. I'm attracting people into what I have going on. Now, in order to attract people into your social media, you want to have an attractive Instagram, right? And honestly, I cannot say this enough times. Lighting makes such a huge difference. You do not need to invest in lighting necessarily or a camera to have great lighting. You can use sunlight. The best days are overcast days or it's slightly cloudy. Those are the best days. It's like you're doing a photo shoot with the screens over the lights, but it's literally perfect lighting. If there isn't an overcast, then just make sure that the sun is never behind you. You can completely change the look of your photo by making sure that like you find your light. Like if you feel the light right here, like you want to move into the light. Like if there's a shadow right here, I know that there's a shadow. How can I peek out? Right? So making sure that you are using lighting to completely transform your page. I mean, the dark, dim stuff, it really just doesn't rank very high in the algorithm. So you want to make sure that you have well lit stuff. I personally use a ring light, and I'll make sure to connect a link. Now, you have to have a clean look. I can't tell you how many times, and maybe it's just like a young girl thing or a young woman thing, but I oftentimes will see pages where people are posting selfies and there's all this stuff in the background, clothes and animals and I don't even know, food and plates. And it's just like, whoa, I don't even see the photo. All I'm looking at is all the stuff on the floor. Like I never understood that. So make sure that it's clean and cluttered because again, it is your storefront. What does your store say about you? I'm just telling you, I personally wouldn't want to do business with someone that looks like they have a cluttered life. When you have a cluttered space, you usually have a cluttered life. And there's the rule of threes, you know, the placing of your photo. Center yourself. If I shot this video the whole time and I was like this, over here, even though I'm like a small video, it would be really strange. So you want to be centered in the middle of the photo, post in portrait. So I can tell you guys the difference between posting in portrait and posting in landscape is how many people will actually see your stuff. With Instagram, they now have the option of when you post photos, you could post a taller photo, like in actual portrait mode. And what's really cool is because when you're scrolling, that photo physically takes up more space, you're actually more prone to getting more likes, which is great, to getting more reach, to getting more impressions. And if there's a face in the photo, it just boosts it more. So you want to make sure that you're doing the things that are going to boost you up in the algorithm so more people have an opportunity to see you, to see your page, and to follow you if what you're putting out there is in alignment with what they're looking for. So when you do post that way, you want to make sure to leave some space on the top of the photo. So if I'm like this, you guys see how there's like a little bit of space up here? Because what happens is when you do post your photo, it posts it in the square, right? It doesn't post it on portrait when it's just your timeline. So as an example, this is my personal Instagram page, right? So you guys can see that there. Now, if I were to look at this photo with me, I made sure to leave room on the top of right here, on top of my head, so that when it did post, it doesn't cut my head off on the actual post of the photo. So it's just little things that you can do to make sure that if I were to have it right here at the top of my head on my actual feed of my page, it would have cut my face off. And so you just want to do things that are working for you and not against you, things that are going to attract people into your actual page. Which brings us to cohesiveness, okay? When you're looking at the full timeline theme, you can do a color scheme of your timeline. And I just want to read this. So let's say that you have a pet store, okay? Would you really walk around in ball gowns, sipping in wine in your store? Crazy parties happening during the day, or show a whole argument that you have with your significant other? Probably not. Okay. If you want to post the drama of life, I would suggest splitting up your pages. Even if you're like this happy person in your brand, but then you get home and that's probably like maybe not who you really are, two completely different pages, because it creates confusion. Okay. You want to be in alignment with the way that you're posting, even down to the color scheme. One person, Melissa over here, she's having a baby. One of the things that I love that she does in her posts, and it's crazy, I just found her and I'm apparently not following her, which is crazy. But what she does is she posts in threes, right? So you see how there's this photo, and this photo. And she'll choose a color in the photo and make sure that all three photos have that color in it. So sometimes it's not even necessarily like the same outfit, but it'll be the same color in those three, and it immediately will link those three together. And then the next one, the color of this one was black, right? And so when you start looking at different people's pages, you'll see how they create a cohesiveness with the colors. Another thing that you could do with themes. This is Jay Shetty. Absolutely love him. Incredible motivation, inspiration. Check him out if you haven't had a chance to yet. But he does the checkerboard way with quotes in between, right? How you can change your life. And then is always showing different inspirational videos or different things that he's up to or different things that other people are up to. Whatever way that you want to create your theme, you just want it to be cohesive. Another person that I follow, Amanda Bucci, she does the same type of thing. Find a color in your photos and kind of link the photos. There could be a green tree in the background in one photo and nothing else is green. The next photo you could have on green shorts. That could be the only green thing. And then the next photo you could have on a green beret. Right? So as long as there's a color commonality between your photos that you're posting on your feed, it will create a cohesiveness. Okay. And again, you want to make sure that who you're being has a cohesiveness. And we'll get to like liking stuff and all of that coming up pretty quick here. But to me, it's really crazy when people want to post the drama, the crazy, the madness, but then at the same time want to be the super positive, happy person. Like we've got to figure out, who do you really want to be? Who are you really? Be who you are. Okay, do that. Now, the next thing brings us to posting with intention. So show how your product is solving problems. Okay, so rule number one, you get to post at least once a day. The top influencers on Instagram have it's statistically shown that they're posting about 5.4 times per week. That's like 6 days out of the week. Success leaves clues. So if the top influencers on the planet are posting at least once a day, then we definitely get to post at least once a day. I mean, unless you're Gary Vee and then you're posting 48 billion times a day, or obviously I'm exaggerating, but you definitely want to make sure that you are posting at least once a day. So your content matters. Do not just post to post. Don't post a dark photo. Don't post a photo you didn't think about. Use the caption to allow people to get to know you or your brand. So as an example, tell a story. If you're going to post you in something that you designed, let's say that you have a new jacket on, maybe you could talk about, for me, I grew up struggling. Real, like true story. I grew up struggling. We went from a household income to a one when my dad ruptured a disc in his back and went on disability. My mom was working full time, all of us kids, and our husband on disability. So it was a struggle growing up. And so it's really easy for me to connect to a space where I will never forget where I came from. And I often share the ugliest parts of my story, because for me, I feel like if I am honest with what has happened in my life, if I'm honest about how things have not been perfect by any stretch of the imagination, it allows people into my life. It allows people to relate to the things that I've been through. And again, it just solidifies my tribe that much more. So posting with intention, let people know who you really are. Perfection is so boring. It's not relatable. So you don't have to be perfect all the time. And that's just my opinion, but it's a pretty strong opinion for me. I strongly believe in that opinion. So share your story, but don't just be like just your story. Don't just be just your product or service. Share your how-tos, share your products or service, share results, people using it, etc. Post images in a smart way. You can talk about how if you're a mom and you are able to be present with your kids more. So maybe now, instead of just posting a photo of you at your daughter's dance recital in what would be where you were regularly at the office or regularly at work, maybe your post can be something along the lines of, wow, I cannot even believe the opportunity that I have to be here. I remember back when I missed everything. I was able to pay the bills, but at the cost of missing everything that was most important to me. And there are so many people that can relate to that. And I will say again, marketing is not really about the push anymore. I really feel like it's about the pull. It's about the attraction. I agree with Ronnie Brown 1000%. So one thing that I will say on how to create your content. Now, for me, creating content is absolutely everything. Everything. But how do you always have well lit? How do you pull different colors? Like if you're anything like me, when I was starting my Instagram, I was like, but how do you even do that? It doesn't happen by mistake. It is so intentional. So for me, what I'll do, because I'm really not I don't go out very often. I don't love getting dressed up every single day. And I'm not dressed up every single day. And that's what you see in my stories. And we'll get to that. But what I do is on Saturdays, I will do photo shoots. And it used to be with my iPhone. Until I got a camera, me and my girlfriends would go and take photos of each other for an hour and a half with outfit changes. And now, whether or not I had something going on that week, I still had content that I could post. So that's just one way that I'm really clear on content. And then one of the things is I look at the photo and I think, what does this photo say to me? So if I'm standing on a wall, I'm on the top of the wall, the quote would be something about stop straddling the fence. And then I would write something of whatever that means to me. My captions are long. I put a lot into my captions, but that's how I create content. I see the photo. I think of what the photo could mean as far as what does this mean to me? And then I dive into my actual caption. So post with intention. Do not just post to post. Now, we've talked about your storefront. Now we're going to talk about the stock room. Now, I love this analogy because this is where the real you gets to shine. So for me personally, in my stories, this is where, you're not going to see me with makeup on. I might look crazy some days. It might be a complete wreck, or you're going to see when I'm putting shirt orders together and my loft that I have everything in is a complete mess. And it's just the real. It's like when you're in the store is beautiful and the mannequins are perfectly placed and the clothes are so nice, but the stock room is probably a hot mess, right? And that's how I feel about my stories. Everything is not sealed pretty with a bow. So this is where your personality or the brand personality really gets to show up. Show the behind the scenes, right? What is happening the day in, day out of your life. It's crazy how many people become a part of your life. Even with me and my friends, I have conversations when one of my girlfriends will be like, oh yeah, I totally went to this thing. I'm like, yeah, I saw that. I feel like I was there. So it's just crazy what happens when you really start to show your life in that type of way, the behind the scenes type of way. It just solidifies your tribe, solidifies the relationship building and your relatability. So use the resources too. I'm telling you, these things will boost you in the algorithm. Use the music, use the polls, use the questions, boomerangs, go live. And I'm totally talking to myself. I totally need to go to live 1,000% more. But using these things are going to boost you in the algorithm, which is going to allow more people to see you, expand that reach, expand visibility, which increases your opportunity to increase your followers. Okay, so use those resources. Also, the swipe up option, I get a lot of people that are like, hey, how come I can't swipe up? You do have to have 10,000 followers before you can use the swipe up option to connect a website or an online store or things of that nature. So when you max out Instagram, Instagram will max out your page. Okay. It is definitely easier said than done because there is so much information that goes into it. Now, we want to look at hashtags. Okay. So this also is just another opportunity to increase your visibility. Instagram allows you up to 30 hashtags. Now, I've been told, and no one really understands the algorithm because it's always changing and it does what it wants, right? But essentially, I've been told that if you use all 30 on your actual post, Instagram kind of marks you as a spammer. So what you want to do is anywhere from 5 to 13 hashtags on your actual post. And then under that, you can go and hashtag away in the comment section. What I personally would do is I would write down the hashtags that you're using or copy and paste them into your notes, and then go the next day and see if you rank in the top 9. Now, if you do rank in the top 9, you top in the rank. If you do rank in the top 9, you can try to use hashtags that are a little more competitive, meaning hashtags that more people are searching for. So if you're on a hashtag and you make it to the top 9, this is usually like top influencers, but if you make it to the top 9 and there's 4.5 million people that are using this hashtag, okay, great. You're doing pretty awesome. As opposed to if you only have 100 followers, you don't really want to use the hashtags that everyone else is using because you're just going to get washed away with the 4.4 million that no one ever really gets to see. So, as an example for me, I used to love the hashtag motivation. Now, if you go on your phone right now, and we can do it together, if you search the hashtag motivation, you'll see here that motivation has 169 million people posting about motivation. Now, unless you're like a really popular person, odds are, not a guarantee, but odds are you might get washed away with the rest of the people that are hashtagging the other 168, 999, whatever people that are also trying to use that hashtag. As opposed to if you look up mindset motivation, that's one that I use. There's like 10,000 people start using that hashtag. So one, it's going to put you in a space where now there's more people that could possibly see you because there's not as much competition for that hashtag. So be as trending as you can. And one way that you can really stay up to date with what is trending for the commented hashtags underneath and actually things that correlate to the photo, because sometimes people will be like, gorilla and it's a photo of a t-shirt or it's a t-shirt or like a printer or like something that doesn't make any sense. You definitely don't want to hashtag something that your video or your picture is not about. But some resources that you can use is Hashtagged. It's an app on your phone, or you can go to top-hashtags.com and search whatever topic that you're looking for, and then it'll show you the top ones for that. And you can just scroll. You can look at all of them. Let's say it's fashion, it'll show you the top fashion hashtags. So outfit of the day, OOTD, just different things along those lines that are going to increase your visibility when you really take advantage of the hashtag option. Next, now I completely got this from Gary Vee. Build relationships, build relationships, build relationships. Get to know your community. Now, we just talked about you using hashtags, but you can also use hashtags as a form of finding your people, okay? So let's say that your thing is fashion, right? When you search fashion, you're going to see all of these things come up. So you can go to fashion. Look, it has 604 million people posting about it. The top 9 are going to be these top 9 photos that post automatically. Yes, there's always a video. And you can go and like and comment, and you literally can just scroll, right? So I went to the first one. This is the first photo. When you scroll down, this is the next photo. So you can scroll down, like, comment, but be authentic and don't say random bot things. Great photo, or wow, that's nice, or looks great, looking good. Those things, people don't even think it's real. Even if you took the time to write it, people don't think it's real. They think it's spam. So write things and use more than just emojis. Use at least 4 words. So one of the things that I do that'll boost you in the algorithm is using at least 4 words. I respond to everyone that comments on my stuff. And sometimes, I mean, there's hundreds of comments that I'll get on certain photos, or even if there's 50 comments, I'm going to respond to every single person, even if I just say, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Little things that make all the difference and boost you in the algorithm. So take advantage and get to know your community. So Gary Vee talks about the $1.80 rule. Now, this, to be fair, I did this for a while, and it's like a 3-hour process. When I said that it's work, it's actually work. Like if you think about it and you go comment on the top 9 and you do that for 9 different hashtags, I personally say 10, but he says 9. So it's $1.80. And you put your 2 cents on the top 9 in 9 different things. I mean, it takes time to actually do that. You can follow whoever. Also, don't follow people in the hopes that they follow you back. Follow people that are in alignment with your niche. Sometimes I follow my friends, I follow my family members, and I don't know if you guys have ever seen those memes, and they're hilarious, but they're not in alignment with my brand. And so even though I laughed out loud and I'll send it to my girlfriends, or I'll send it to my threads, or I'll save it, I'm not going to post it, and I'm also not going to like it, because Instagram is going to say, oh, this is more of the stuff that she wants to see. No, I don't want to see more of that stuff. I want to see more of the things that help me to monetize in my business, that help me to build more relationships and make new best friends. That's what I want. So those are the things that I'm going to like. And fun fact, I'm just saying this might ruin some stuff for somebody, but you can always tell the types of things that people are liking by looking at their explore page. So if there's babies and fit women and cooking recipes, you know what they're looking for. The same thing as if it were anything else. So build relationships, get into your community, comment on people's photos, follow as you will, and also like their stuff. Top nine photos for 9 different categories. You'll also see here that it'll say related, right? So you could just go to the next one over, style, stylish, and just keep on going until you've gotten to 9. Now, this brings us to cross-pollination and collaboration. I definitely talked about this in the YouTube video that I did. But when you work together to create a win-win, okay? So this is why it's so valuable to hone in on your niche, okay? When you partner with someone else, you have access to their followers and vice versa. So also make sure that the people you're collaborating with are people who are in alignment with your niche. So as an example, let's say that you have it's a fashion thing, right? And you do boots and someone else does jeans. You guys could come together, do a photo shoot or photos of each other, put the person in your jeans in their jeans in your boots. The person in the jeans could put their jeans on you and you would wear your boots, and you both could post a photo of each other and be like, oh my gosh, I love hanging with my girlfriends in style, and literally talk about boots by this person, denim jeans by this person, and you both win. You both already should have people that are following based on fashion. Both should already have people that are based on slim fit jeans with a cute boot cut. People are looking for those things that are already inside of that niche. So how can you create a win-win when you cross-pollinate each other's following and collaborate to win with each other? And I would also say, make sure that you're reaching out for people that are kind of on the same level as you as far as following and influence goes. Because sometimes when we're like, oh my God, will you give me a shout out? I'm telling you, I'm not even one of the people that have a ton of followers. And people message me all the time and will say, hey, will you give me a shout out? Like, hi, how are you? How's your day? What is your name? You know, like it's just crazy how people just want to take instead of trying to add value. So that is one thing that I would say is, how can you bring value to the person that you want to do something for you instead of just asking them for something? So promotions, okay? This is where you can promote your brand by doing stuff like fun giveaways. You can offer your product or service. I actually just did this and it was so much fun. I offered a free t-shirt to the first person that could guess what I was holding in one of my photos. And it created a lot of engagement because people were trying to guess the answer, which obviously boosts you up in the algorithm. And then when you're responding, also respond within the first 30 minutes. But when you're responding to everyone, that also creates more engagement, which which boosts you up more in the algorithm, which increases your visibility, which is the opportunity for more followers. You definitely can have a lot of fun with that. So just some fun different things that you can do is follow me and tag 3 of your friends and you'll have a chance to win XYZ. Now, it doesn't have to be your product or service. I mean, the new iPhone came out. You can do a promotion for that. You could do a trip. You could do whatever you want to do. You could do cash. There are so many things that you could promote. There are so many things that you could offer as a giveaway or a raffle, or you can literally pay to sponsor, promote your page, okay? Your website, your events, or anything else with your sponsored posts, okay? So as simple as it is, as simple as it sounds, you can pay for Instagram to expand your reach. It's actually through Facebook, but you're gonna do it through Instagram. And they're gonna ask you, do you want people to see your profile, your website, your storefront, or your messages? Then you choose. Do you want Instagram to target your audience, or do you wanna create your own? You can choose. You can choose how much money you want to spend per day and for how long. I mean, you can literally do it for $1 a day and have the opportunity to reach more people. Okay, so you could definitely take advantage. And again, it's maxing out Instagram. So taking advantage of the promotions, taking advantage of the sponsored posts definitely will boost you in the algorithm as well. So guys, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me for this webinar. I hope that this was useful. If you do have any questions as far as Instagram growth or what I've personally been doing, please just send me a message, or if you'd like a follow-up video, send me a message. I hope that this was actually useful to you, but be sure to let me know how these tips work. You can find me on all social media platforms under Sarah Fontenot or at Ms. Sarah Fontenot. But it has been a pleasure and an honor. So excited to have the chance to share with you guys today. I am always sending love and light, and I'm excited to build business with you guys. I say it in my YouTube all the time. I'm excited to build business, build mindset, heart set, and get that belief set. Sending so much love and light your way. Mwah.